please welcome our next team, Team 14 from Wenhua High School, and that brings their topic of the project is e-waste to eco-win. Please welcome Team 14.
Ladies and gentlemen, imagine this. You just bought a brand new phone, but what happens to your old one? Is it sitting in a drawer or worse, in the trash? Every year, millions of smartphones end up as e-waste. But what if we could turn this waste from something a burden into something valuable for both planet and economy? We are Team 14. My name is Tina.
My name is Joanne.
So today we are going to talk about our research, e-waste to eco-waste, analyzing the role of smartphone recycling tax systems in environmental and economic benefits through shared responsibilities of companies and consumers. And we also named our project as E2E project, and also for our taxes, E2E recycling taxes. So this is the overview of our content. We especially divide our research proposal into 3 parts. The first is corporate recycling tax. The second is consumer recycling tax. The last one, we will analyze the potential benefits for our E2E recycling tax systems. So now let's hand to Joanne to start our topic.
So thank you, Tina. So nowadays, mobile cell phones has become an essential part of our life, but few people know how their old devices ended up too. And the reality is, it creates a huge amount of electricity waste, which also called as e-waste. And according to the UNEP data, by the time it comes to 2015, the number will soar to 120 million tons. And what does this huge amount of e-waste look like? It weighs same as 600 billion of smartphones. And worse still, many of these are sending to developing countries such as China, Africa, and West Asia. And workers there are exposed to this toxic environment, which can harm their health badly. So Taiwan, for instance, sells about 6 million of smartphones every year, but our recycling rate is only about 12%. So we create a tax system that is deep from the government, and both consumers and companies take responsibilities. We aim for a triple wins outcome.
So now it's my turn to talk about corporate recycling tax. But beforehand, I will explain why we should impose a tax on companies. Our ideas comes from the concept in economics called internalization of external costs. When companies are producing their product, they will also produce pollutions. And this kind of pollutions will not be included in the production cost. So this is where the government should step in and levy a tax for companies to take environmental responsibilities by paying the tax. And as for smartphone recycling, and as for smartphone production, it will also produce pollutions, especially carbon dioxide emissions. So this is why we believe that those companies, smartphone production companies, should take environmental responsibilities by paying the tax. And there are also some of the places like European Union and South Korea have already required the electronic production companies to take environmental responsibilities. They should meet the recycling target, and if they didn't achieve, they will face the fines or penalties. So based on these systems and theories, we come up with our corporate recycling tax. There are 2 factors, carbon emissions and market share. As for carbon emissions, producing one iPhone will release about 70 to 80 kilograms of carbon dioxide emission. This is just for one device. If we scale across millions of units, the environmental impact will be really huge. So we apply this model called tiered carbon tax model, and also we collect data like from ESG reports or LCA studies to collect data and calculate the tax for that. And based on this, we also designed the 3 tax levels for that, and we will adjust the tax rates based on their environmental performances. As for the second one, market share. We all know that the bigger the company, the more responsibilities they should take. So this is why we utilize this model to calculate the market share and the tax for them. We also collect data from government trade reports or financial statements here to collect data. So based on these two systems and factors, we come up with corporate recycling tax. It's a rare, fair, and accountable recycling tax for those corporations to take environmental responsibilities.
So I will further discuss our tax systems on consumers. So our tax system is based on green tax, and the most commonly used green tax nowadays is vehicle tax. So as for Taiwan's example, Taiwan's vehicle tax is separated into fuel tax and license tax. So local government will invest part of the fuel tax revenue to invest in environmental protection. And as for Japan's example is that as they are highly reliant on imported energy, so they import a higher fuel tax. So as a long-term result is that citizens actually prefer smaller cars, which require less oil. So as these two examples, we can know that a well-designed tax system not only can change consumers' behavior, but have some good impact on our planet. So there are two concepts of our program, which is user co-payment and energy security protection. And we want our consumers to achieve through this project, which is extend their using cell phone lifespan, and also they can actively recycling their old cell phones. So our tax money is adjusted by the original price of the mobile cell phone, and it will decrease every year, and after 5 years, there will be no tax payment. This is echoes to our goal of extending the consumer using cell phone lifespans. But it can also cause a financial burden on consumers, so we have also designed some tax reduction on it. So for example, this user recycling their old devices while purchasing a new one, he can actually have some cash back. Like this user bought a 30,000 NT dollars mobile cell phone, and the first year tax is 1,500 NT dollars. So when he recycling his old cell phone, he can receive 750 NT dollars. And as for repairing, we also have some tax reduction on it. So for example, this user also bought a 30,000 NT dollars mobile cell phone, and he spent $3,500 repairing it. So you can see at this line, this year he can have 50% off of his first year tax, which means he only needs to pay 750 NT dollars. What if the user originally bought a second-hand mobile phone? We also designed some tax reduction on it. Like this user bought a 2-year-old used high-end mobile phone, and the original price is 30,000 NT dollars. So you can see at the second line, this year his first year tax can have 60% off, which only means he needs to pay $900.
So now I'm going to talk about the environmental and economic benefits for our e-cell project. So first of all, we should reduce consumers' resistance to the tax. So we utilize a part of the tax to give the incentives for them. So they can get the tax reduction, just what John have mentioned, and also they can get a discount when they are repairing or purchasing the smartphones. And we will also do the data like cost-benefit analysis, find the best balances between incentives and the tax, and also we will do the expert interviews here and to do our research. And for the second part, which is our main goal, is to utilize a part of our taxes to support our domestic green circular economy. So we all know that Taiwan is lack of the natural resources. So this is why there is an urgency for Taiwan to develop our own circular economy, and especially for smartphone recycling, so that we should utilize the taxes to support some of the companies that extract the valuable metal from the smartphones, such as gold or silver, so that we can seize those metals from our recycling systems. And how we do the data, we first should know that what's the current destination of our e-waste. We don't want to, we just want to know that whether it would be an illegal disposal of our e-waste. And also we will do a field survey and to find out the current situation of Taiwan's recycling systems by visiting those factories which are disassembling the smartphones. And last but not least, we want this tax to boost Taiwan's overall economy. So just put it simple, we want those companies and consumers to pay for the tax, not only make them to take environmental responsibilities, but also this tax should be invest in local green industries, and we want these industries to create jobs opportunities and to boost overall economic. So this is research of let's hand to Joanne.
So now we have a basic understanding of our project, and let me introduce our most important and most forward-thinking aspect of our program, which is the E2E self-style program. And this is all centered around this page. So for both companies and governments, I introduce you the E2E self-partner page. So companies that actively invest in environmental protection and follow our policy are qualified to get this page. So with this page, companies have the opportunity to work with government and even invest in and even cooperate with TSMC to invest in the more energy-saving chips and smartphones. So in this way, not getting supporting from the public, but also can enhance brand green image. So for both consumers and mobile companies, I introduce you the E2E sale page. So consumers that followed our policy and actively recycling their old cell phone can get this exclusive page. So with this page, when consumers purchasing an eco-friendly electronics item, they can get a special discounts. So from the government leading, both consumers and companies can benefit from it and leading toward a greener future.
Okay, so we found out some of the words are gone, but we will talk about that in person. Okay, so we also understand that our ET-cell project still have many aspects that we haven't discussed. So now we will use pastoral analysis to find some of the considerations during implementations. So the first is about P, political. We know that we should make those legislatures to make sure how we monitor those governments to use our taxes in the right way and not to abuse those tax and money. And so that we will also integrate some of the NGOs to monitor how the money is used and also make those informations about how we use the taxes be public. And the second one for E, economic, we all know that our main goal is to change consumers' purchasing habits. So this is why we want to levy a taxes system for them and to take environmental responsibilities so that they cannot just chase the trend and buy the new smartphone every year. We want them to extend their smartphone's life. And as for the third one, S, social, we found that we also had to consider the affordabilities in different income groups and adjust our tax rates based on that.
So as for T, technology, this project will encourage eco-friendly electronic design. So as for E, environment, this project will lower carbon emissions and enhance resource efficiency. So as for L, legal, which is the most important one, we must make sure our tax is clear and that we follow global trade law.
So now I'm going to talk about our budget plan of our ET-cell project. So we divide our budget into 4 parts, and our total budget is about 250,000 British pounds. First one is market research and consumer tax testing will be about 40%, and industry tax feasibility study will be about 30%, and policy design and economic benefit analysis will be about 20%, and as for others will be about 10%. So this is the overview of our budget plan.
So as for our timeline, we divided our 1-year timeline into 3 parts. So for the first part, initial phase, we will collect data from reliable sources, and we also will design our tax system. And as for development phase, we will perform a detailed analysis, and we will also conduct a small-scale pilot. As for the final part, our refinement phase, we will refine our tax rate calculations, and we will also gather feedback and make adjustments.
So as for our ET-cell project, it's not just a plan, it's a movement with a bold vision of transforming the e-waste from a burden into something valuable for both planet and economy. So by holding the consumers and companies accountable and also channeling our tax system into green local industries, we are not only just protecting our planet, but also put Taiwan as a pioneer of global sustainability. With your support, we are not only just figure out the sum of the proposal, and we will also make it happen. So this is our references.
So together,
We can make a change to our planet. My name is Tina.
My name is Joette.
Thank you for your listening.
Are you going to find questions?
You talking about investing in local company, and I have a question because for recycling, and it seems like we are asking the company making money to pay the tax and to do the recycle. However, without selling more mobile phone, they are having less income. So your project may cost like the first year you can create more incomes to government and to have some reinvestment to local company. But because of this project, there will be less mobile be made, and in the long term, it can be less income and also less mobile will be sold. So the company you charge you ask them to pay tax. What kind of benefit they get? I saw the special discounts, but they are making less than phones in future. For us, it is a dilemma. So I can use recycle phone. I can get points. I can get the badge. But how can I also buy a new phone? But those companies, we are making a new phone. They cannot make enough income. So how?
I can answer. So thank you for your questions. Yeah, I think that's a very thoughtful question. So we will use part of our tax to help them and also cooperate with them and to invest in more energy-saving smartphone, and which can lower their carbon emissions. So that as the long-term result is that they don't have to pay that much tax. So we are helping them. And do you want anything to add?
Okay, so we also have mentioned that if they are doing our recycling tax system, they can also cooperate with one of the most famous industry in Taiwan called TSMC. They can also cooperate with our companies and develop a more smarter and more greener and more environmental friendly smartphones. So this in some of ways also help them to get the more advantage technology from Taiwan. So it doesn't mean that they are totally didn't get the money because of the tax systems and also the discounts on the consumers. They can also cooperate with Taiwan's industries, especially TSMC and others.
Thank you for your question.
Very quick. Judge Sherry just brought kind of a great question about the business side of things, and I think you've done an excellent job. In general with the business, PESL analysis. I just learned about a Pagovian tax. Okay, so thank you. I'm taking notes as you guys are presenting. The business analysis is fantastic. Okay? Politics. Okay, let's get into politics. We talked about government. Okay? If we're gonna, you have a great idea here. If we're gonna get this started, government, who? What politicians are gonna support this? Do we have any people that we can move forward with this? What politician is gonna support this? Do we have a track record, or do we know which politicians are more supportive of green policies like this?
So for me, I don't know any politicians, but I think I would.
It's okay, me neither.
So I think I would probably, for me, just go out and launch a speech to everyone and raise awareness from everyone. And I think this will be helpful for our program too. known from everyone.
Okay, so I have also another idea is that we will implement this tax system to consumers, and we will have also impose them some of the tax, and they should pay for that. And some of the consumers might unwilling to do this. So this is why the government should make those information or how we utilize our tax be public and be clear, so that those consumers can be willing to pay for the tax, and also in this way they can know that government are doing the right things for overall environment and society. So I think one of the motivation for making those government to do the right thing is also from consumers. They have also monitoring those government whether they are doing the right thing, because they are the one who are paying the tax. So I think this is one of the aspects.